All right, let's dive into a story that's served warm, right in a savory broth. And this isn't just about a local dish. No, this is about generations of tradition. It's about the very soul of the Flemish street market. And really, it's about the fight to keep a unique piece of culinary heritage alive. So let's get into the story of Karakollen.
Simple, honest, as it should be. You know, this quote from one of the tradition's last guardians, it just perfectly captures the whole philosophy. There are no frills here, no fuss, just pure, authentic flavor that's been passed down through families. And that, right there, is the heart of what makes this dish so incredibly special.
So, first things first, let's explore what we're actually talking about here. We're kicking off with a taste of tradition, where we'll break down exactly what makes this Flemish treat one of a kind.
Okay, so Karakollens are sea snails, specifically their whelks, but what makes them a truly Flemish delicacy is all in the preparation. I mean, forget everything you might think you know about snails. Here, they're served warm, already coaxed out of their shells for you, and they're swimming in this peppery, aromatic soup that just warms you from the inside out.
And this Flemish style, it's a world away from what its neighbors are doing. In France or the Netherlands, you might get whelks served cold, still tucked away in their shells, maybe with a dollop of mayonnaise. But in Flanders, it's a completely different experience. The warmth, that spicy broth, and the fact that you can just eat them without any special tools, it makes it a comforting, soulful dish, not just some cold appetizer.
All right, on to our next section, from street cart to market. You know, this tradition has such a fascinating history, a journey that takes us from these bustling city streets all the way to the modern-day market. Let's see how it all evolved.
So, picture this. The story starts in these busy port cities, right at the fish auctions where all the fresh seafood was. In its heyday, you'd have vendors roaming the streets with carts, stopping on corners, even popping into cafes to sell their warm Karakollen. It was basically the original fast food of the people. But then, as regulations on street trading got tighter, these mobile carts started to disappear. They had to find a new, more permanent home, which is why you'll mostly find them today at local markets and fairs.
Okay, so let's move on to the art of slow cooking. Now, this might be served up quick, but trust me, it is far from fast food. The real magic here lies in a deliberate, time-honored craft, a family recipe that's been perfected over generations.
The whole process starts super early in the morning with a massive pot. In go about 6 kilos of snails, some white celery, a big onion, and of course the secret family spices. Then it all just simmers for a full hour in what you could only really describe as a slow dance of flavors. The goal is to get them perfectly tender, because if they overcook, they get tough, or kachu, as they call it in the local dialect, and that is a true sin for any Karakollen vendor.
Now, with such a rich history, you'd think these stalls would be everywhere, right? But how many are left that exclusively sell fresh, traditionally prepared Karakollen full-time? Well, the answer is right there. Just 2. That's it. Wesley Van Lingen's stall and his parents' stall. And they now only work on weekends. This isn't just a tradition, it's a rare and, honestly, an endangered craft.
And you know, this simple bowl of snails has a cultural weight that goes far beyond its ingredients. For generations, it's been a source of comfort, of connection, and yeah, even a little bit of folk medicine. It's so much more than just a snack.
I mean, for a lot of locals, that steaming hot broth is the go-to remedy for a winter cold. Feeling a little rough after a night out? A bowl of Karakollen is considered the ultimate hangover care. It's this beloved comfort food when the weather turns chilly, and the stall itself, it becomes a social hub, a place where people just gather, chat, and share a moment of warmth at the market.
And that brings us to our final section, keeping the flame alive. So how does a tradition this rare actually survive? Well, the answer, as it so often is, comes down to passion, family, and a really deep sense of duty to a legacy.
This tradition survives because of people like Wesley Van Lingen. I mean, this guy had a whole other career. He was a dockmaster for the port and then a teacher. But when his mother's health started to fail, he began helping out at her stall on Sundays. And pretty soon he left his job behind completely, choosing these pre-dawn mornings and the steam of the cooking pot over a steady salary, all to make sure his family's tradition didn't just fade away.
This quote, it just really captures the heart of his role in the community. The toddlers his mother served are now all grown up and they're bringing their own kids to his stall. And they call him Uncle Karakol, Uncle Karakol. It's just this beautiful, living cycle of tradition passed from one generation to the next, not just within his family, but through the whole community.
But the future isn't exactly guaranteed. Like a lot of traditional crafts, the Karakollen stall is facing some serious headwinds. The cost of everything, from the snails themselves to the market stall rent, it's all rising. At the same time, fewer people are visiting traditional markets, and there's some stiff competition from all the modern, trendy food trucks. It's a tough environment for a simple, honest bowl of snails.
And really, that brings us to our final thought. The story of Karakollen is such a powerful reminder that culture isn't just found in museums. It's alive. It's in the tastes, the smells, and the small rituals of our daily lives. It really makes you wonder, what are the simple, honest traditions in your own community, and who's going to be there to keep their flame alive for the next generation? Thanks for joining me.